Bishop, nice to have you here again today.
Good to be back.
The issue of Catholic schools and this education tax credit proposal up in the legislation has come up again. Last year lost some political shenanigans, shall we say, you know. Why are we so adamant on bringing this bill back again this year?
Well, we see it as one way that we can help support our Catholic schools. Again, the bill is aimed at those people who donate to scholarship funds to keep children not only in Catholic schools, but also the scholarship funds can be applied to public schools and to other private schools. So we think it's one way that people who donate will get a tax credit on their state income taxes for the donations that they make. We have many people who already donate, but this is a kind of more of an incentive. But also it shows that there's some state backing, because the state will lose revenue if people take advantage of this. So they're giving up something in order to aid education, which is a rather legal way, constitutional way that they can do this. Mm-hmm. So that's why we think it's so important to get that principle set up and to get actual funding there, and more funding to the schools.
Mm-hmm. Last year, the church in New York State tried to convince Governor Cuomo to go along with this, and this year it seems like he's more receptive to putting it into the budget.
Right, he put it in his budget, so it looks like he's going to be backing it. We just have to make sure we get both houses to be with it.
Sure. Last year, the stumbling block seemed to be the Assembly Speaker, Sheldon Silver, would not allow the bill out even for a vote, even though it seemed like it had enough votes to pass. This year he's not there, obviously. Does that change the situation at all?
Well, hopefully it will change. It was clear in the newspapers. They said he did the bidding of the teachers union. He carried their water all the time. It's a public fact, and that's what happened. He was killing everything that would in any way help us, because he was beholden to them.
Mm-hmm. Now, the governor seems to have linked this bill with the DREAM Act, and that's something that the New York State bishops would like to see passed also.
Right. The DREAM Act would allow undocumented students in the state to get in-state tuition for community colleges and colleges under the state control. It's a very reasonable approach. These children live in the state. Most of them were brought up here. The parents work in the state. It's something everybody has advantage. It would be an advantage to. But at the same time, the governor joining these two things together is a political move, because there's not that much support for the DREAM Act. There's more support actually for the tax credit. He feels by joining them together, especially he could get it through the Senate. Mm-hmm. But it imperils both things if we don't keep them separate. So we're trying to work to separate these two issues, both of which we're for, but if they go down together, we're not going to solve anything.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I noticed that the New York State Catholic Conference has changed its strategy a little bit this year. They're not going to have a public policy day where dioceses send buses up to lobby. What's behind this change in strategy by the Catholic Conference?
Well, several things. First of all, they will keep the bishops going to Albany for the day, meeting with the governor, head of the Senate and Assembly, and meeting with some representatives. We will try to keep the large groups for specific issues in the future. So when we have an issue, that's basically what people do in this state. They flood Albany with buses and people. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're going to try to keep the ammunition dry for when it's needed, and mm-hmm. that's what the strategies become.
Are there dates coming up when the bishops are planning to go to Albany?
Yes, we are going. That 9th of March is still. With the next day, that would be different. We always went the day before mm-hmm. for these other meetings.
Okay, Bishop, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.